So I think we could start. So welcome everyone again to our webinar about development with Agile Waterfall and Agile Waterfall Hybrid. My name is Eva Johnson, and I'm here today to share my experience about the basics of Agile Waterfall and Agile Waterfall Hybrid. And my colleague is here today, Shandor Sabo, and he is going to show you codeBeamer live demonstration. So let's start. Hi Shandor. So let's start with a little agenda. So first, I'm going to introduce Intland software to you. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about Waterfall in short information, so Waterfall in a nutshell. Then I'm going to show our experience or what we know about Agile, Scrum and Kanban. Then when and how and why to use Agile Waterfall Hybrid. And then the main challenge of Agile Waterfall Hybrid model. And at the end, we're going to show you a little live demo of codeBeamer ALM. So let's start. Let's start with Intland Software. Who we are. Intland Software was founded in the 1980. We are headquartered in Stuttgart, Germany, and in the Silicon Valley, California. We have partners in Korea and Taiwan, and our product is called codeBeamer ALM. It is an application lifecycle management platform with 5 features, including requirements management, software development management, QA task management, daemon management, and IT operation, or with other words, DevOps. We have different clients. As you could see, we have clients from the automotive industry, high technology, defense, finance, medical, and other industries. But let's talk about why we are here today. Talk about Agile Waterfall Hybrid. So let's start a little bit about what we know, what we should know about Waterfall. So Waterfall, or the V model, is widely accepted as being the first comprehensive design methodology. The Waterfall method is coming from manufacturing and constructing, and it is in use since the 1960s and mainly for large projects. What you need to know is that a pure Waterfall model works well in situations where there are long delivery cycles, separate testing phases, and where the original design and requirements are unlikely to change. So if you look at the illustration at the bottom of the page, you will see that using Waterfall, the development moves from concept or requirements through the design and implementation to the verification and the maintenance. So that was really in Waterfall in a nutshell. And on the other hand, Agile is very different. Agile software development comes from the 60s. It is a group of software development methods in which requirements and solutions evolve through collaboration between self-organizing cross-functional teams. Agile is based on iterative and incremental development, and it focuses on keeping code simple, testing often, and delivering continuously. Agile it helps you to shorten the delivery time and enables to collect feedback in early stages to fulfill better the requirements. Agile is not only popular in the software industry, but a lot of people use Agile for project management. It is widely considered to be the best for quick product development. The 2 most widely used methods of Agile are Scrum and Kanban. And now I would love to talk a little bit about Scrum and Kanban. So Scrum focuses on small, cross-functional, self-organizing teams requiring team members to split the work into a list of small, concrete deliverables, then set priorities and estimate the relative effort of each item. Scrum is based on short, fixed-length iterations, usually 1 4 weeks, with potential shippable code demonstrated after each iteration, and use retrospective to optimize the process after each iteration. Kanban, on the other hand, is very different. Kanban is a tool for visualizing workflow by splitting the work into pieces, writing each item on a card and putting it on the wall. It uses named columns, such as to do, in progress, and done, to illustrate where each item is in the workflow. So limiting the work in progress helps to limit how many items may be in each workflow state. In the live demonstration, we're going to show you the Kanban board. So it will be easier to imagine what it looks like. So now, a few words about the Agile Waterfall hybrid. So the hybrid model is kind of like the marriage of Agile and Waterfall methods. At the first look, it might seems that these two methods are so fundamentally so different that they could not possibly use together within the same project. Actually, the hybrid method can lead to benefits that cannot be achieved by using a single methodology. So I just try to summarize for you why, when, and how to use the Agile Waterfall hybrid methods. So let's start with the why. The main reason why hybrid method can be used is to shorten the design, the analysis, and the planning, but define project frames, including budget and time of delivery. It helps you to be compliant with standards, results more collaboration, and then there's a question when to use it. So you see here product development, which means when you develop hardware and software. So the hardware and the product itself are normally developed, or in many cases, by Waterfall, and the software is by Agile. Or you can use it for entire application development. So when the graphical user interface front end is developed with Agile Scrum methods, and the backend technology that needs to be more stable is developed with Waterfall, or with other words, V-model. And how to use Agile Waterfall hybrid is always a big question. Nothing is set in stone actually about how to use Agile Waterfall hybrid, but I would love to give a few tips from us how we recommend using it. So first, we recommend planning, design, and requirements definition can be done with Waterfall, but development and test in short sprints with Agile Scrum. Then implement. We recommend implementing new type of communication channels and the proper collaborative solution to support information exchange and traceability. We also recommend involving the product owners and client into the communication regularly, and defining standard compliance expectation and focusing on them in the design planning phase. Of course, if you start working or using Agile Waterfall hybrid, that has challenges. First, you're going to see cultural challenges and technical challenges. The cultural challenges, I think it's relatively clear. So the Waterfall teams do more documentation and they are less cooperative. So with other words, it means that many times the Waterfall teams work months and months and months specifying documentation, documents, requirements, and after that, when they start developing, they barely or hardly cooperate with each other. On the other hand, the Agile team, they do less documentation, but they are very cooperative. They have daily stand-up meetings, retrospective meetings, and a bunch of other meetings. When it comes to the technical challenges, that's pretty difficult. So in a hybrid model, we need to oversee a complex structure, hierarchies. And if we work in an agile culture, we need to make sure that we still keep the clarity of the Waterfall model. It's often a problem, and it's pretty difficult. How can we merge these two approaches in the releases? And before we start with the live demo, I would love to show you a few examples. Hybrid in codeBeamer ALM. If you look at this chart, I think you can agree with me that it's at the first look looks pretty difficult. What we see here is that life cycles are connected. Normally you need to develop not only the software, but the product that is highlighted in here by electrical, mechanical, manufacturing. And once you have developed the product, which consists of these components, then you should be able to serve this complex product, which means that you need to develop your service accordingly. This is the last blue level. And how can you start with this complex structure, complex development? You see on the top left, demand management. So demand management is help you to analyze what you need to develop, what product is the best for your company to develop. Once you decide it, then you move to the second level, requirements management, which is all about defining the requirements of your product. And based on your requirement, you will have your system architecture, and which means that you will exactly know what to develop next, which layers. And normally you develop these components separately. So you developed the software part separately from the physical, let's just say physical components, the electrical parts, for example. But at the end, you need to integrate them. So once it is all integrated, then you need to test. And once you decided and everything looks good and fine and that's what you want, then you have probably your releases. And now, just to emphasize, hybrid is really good to use when you need to develop hardware, software, and services. And now I would love to just show an overview about codeBeamer before we start with the live demonstration, then why and how codeBeamer could help you. So if you think back to the previous very complex chart, then you will see that codeBeamer has the demand management that helps you to define the product you need to develop, then the requirements management to define the requirements of your product, and then the software development, which obviously helps you to develop either the hardware or software. And codeBeamer, if you use codeBeamer, then you can develop in an Agile and a Waterfall way. You use Agile and Waterfall and execute them both, and then you can run the testing. And before we start with the live demonstration, I would love to know a little bit about you. So first, I would love to know which tool are you using. So I would appreciate your answer. So my question is, do you use MS Office, IBM, Jira, HP, or any other? Thank you for your answer. And I have 3 more very short questions, or 2 more. I'm curious, which tool are you searching for? It is a tool to manage your requirements, testing, entire development lifecycle, Agile project, or multiply Agile projects such as SAFe. Thank you. Now let's move to the last question before the live demo. So the last question is, what software development methodology are you using? That's what I'm curious about, if you don't mind. Is it Agile, Scrum, Waterfall, or hybrid? Thank view. And now I'm going to ask Shandor to give you a little live demonstration.
Okay. Hello, I'm Shandor from Intland Software. Hello, okay. And I would like to present you a project which we assembled to support the water of software in the same project. So the structure of the project is the following. For hardware development, we have several trackers. As you can see, we have a hardware requirements tracker, a hardware architecture tracker in which we collect the design issues, and then we have hardware task tracker to break down the higher level tasks and requirements to more detailed tasks. And we have also for hardware development bugs and change requests, and also the releases. And we have hardware test cases. For software development, we have user stories and software requirements, user stories, tasks, and also the bugs and change request tracker can be used to track the change requests and bugs for software development. And in the releases, we can see software releases too. We also have software test cases to separate the testing of software and hardware. First, I would like to show you how we support the collection and the life cycle of requirements. Here you can see the document view of a requirement tracker. In this document view, there are three panels: the left, the center, and the right panel. In the left panel, we have the issue tree. So in this document view, each requirement is a separate issue, but in the center panel, they are merged together to compose some kind of document, which can be also exported into Office, for example, but also to Excel. In the tree, you can, of course, add new issues. You can create folders. You can there are options in the context menu, like you can generate test cases from the requirements. You can create new new children. You can delete requirements, and you can export the selection into Office if you prefer. So just to show the functionality, you click on this plus icon, and you can say, you can type something, the name of the requirement. You click enter, and voila, the requirement is already created. You can also use drag and drop to move the requirement in the structure if you want. So I can put this ABC into this top level element very quickly. It just goes there. Yes. In the center panel, you can edit the summary. In the summary of the requirement, you can edit the description of the requirement. The description of the requirement very easily. You can also drive the workflow. If we check the requirement workflow, here in the more menu we have a nice menu point to see your workflow. So this workflow is completely customizable. In the tracker configuration page, you can add new statuses, and you can define transitions between the statuses, and you can define actions for the transitions if you want something to happen at a certain transition, or if you want to guard the transition with certain rules, you can define rules and approvals to perform the transitions, and you can create here a completely custom workflow. So if we return to the document view, here if you just click on this icon, the next state transitions that are possible are lined up in a list, and if you just click on one transition, it happens quickly. You can also do some review. So if you click on the review icon, which is some pile of stars, then you can just add the comment. Yes, and you can choose your review value, and you click rate, and then your rating is saved. So there is also support for reviewing. And if we look at the right panel, here there are several tabs. The Properties tab lets you edit the properties of one requirement. And here these fields are completely customizable. You can add in the tracker configuration, you can add new fields, many kinds of new fields like choice fields, text fields, wiki fields, even tracker item fields, like here the release, it's a tracker item field. If you click on the editor pencil, the releases tracker is shown, and you can choose which release you want to connect this requirement with. But also you can define more fields, and you can control the visibility of the fields by status, per status. So you can edit the details if you want to choose the type, that it's a functional requirement, and you just click save. Then the type is changed, and after I click to another one. So if you change the type and click save, then it is just done. So it's now functional. And here we have the details subpanel. We have the description subpanel, which show you the description, and we have the comment subpanel, in which you can see the comments and the associations between requirements or other tracker items. So if you create an association between, which is also equipped with a suspected feature, so that if you change the other that this requirement is dependent on, then here a suspected link will be shown. And once you review the consistency of your tracker items, you can resolve this suspected link. You can delete it by clicking on this X button, and then the suspected link disappears. Yes. You can export the contents of your tracker. You can export it to Word and Excel. I can show you, for example, an Excel export. It's very simple. You click on More Export, and then you choose Excel Export. Then you click Export, and then it's done. You choose to save the file. Yes, you choose to save the file. You click Close, and then the tracker is exported. So we just double click on in the operation system to the Excel file to open it, and here we can see in Excel the entire set of requirements with all of their properties. We have also export and import. You can import requirements from Word, and you can export also to Word, and we have also round trips in which you export the content of the tracker. In Excel or Word you edit it, and then you import back the result, and the changes are applied to the tracker. We also have here on the requirement level, we have a coverage browser feature which show you how much your requirements are covered by test cases. So here we can see that on the left side there is a tree-like structure in which we have our requirements, and also there are the test cases which are assigned to the requirements, and also the coverage, so whether we have at least a test case to the requirement, or if we have a test case, is it passed, is it failed, or is it logged, or it's incomplete. Incomplete means that this test case was never run, or there is no test run for the release that we filter on. So here you can see that we have the CPU requirement folder or container element, and we have a concrete CPU requirement. We have a test for this requirement, and this test was run, and it passed. So it means that the requirement is covered with the test case and it's passed, and also the CPU main container element is covered and passed. Others are incomplete because the test cases were not run yet. There were no test run for the test cases. Yes, so this helps the requirement management, and you can use the same tracker to design your architecture. So here there is an example architecture tracker. By the way, this project can be sent you in a mail, in a zip file, and you can import it into your codeBeamer instance if you request it at the sales. The sales will send you a zip file with this if you want to study it further. So we have also here a hardware architecture tracker, which is also a requirement tracker with similar features, same features. And here you can give the details of your architecture planning, your design. If we look at the task tracker for hardware development, in the task tracker you can find the tasks concerning to the design, the requirement management, the design, the building of this hardware, and testing of this hardware. In the task tracker, you can break down the high-level tasks to smaller levels. And then we have, if we take a look to the releases page, we will see that we have a hardware development release. In the hardware development release, the steps of the waterfall development is mapped. So we have first sub-release define hardware requirements, then we have design the architecture, build the hardware, and test the hardware. So these map the steps of this waterfall, and they can be executed one after the other. If we look inside sub-release, we can see the tasks, and here you can see how many tasks are in your release, how many tasks are done, how many are still open, and you can see also the assignment of the tasks, so who is responsible for the tasks, and yes, that's what you can see here. If we create a new task, let's choose this test hardware because that's the latest release, and this demo is frozen at the stage of testing the hardware. So it means that at the moment we are at the point of testing our hardware. So if we go to the tasks tracker, the hardware task tracker, and we create a new task. And we choose the test sub-release. And we go back to the releases page, we reload it. Then in the sub-release test hardware, we can see the new task, so it's visible, and we can see that it's not assigned yet. So we can assign to somebody else or a role in order to assign it. Yes. So for Waterfall, you can use the release statistics to overview your tasks, your releases, and the overview your process. To support the testing, we have several features. If we look in the test cases, the hardware test cases, for the test cases we also have a document view in which you can edit the test case, the summary of the test case, description. We have an editor for the test steps. You can add test steps very easily. Yes, you can set the action, the expected results, and you click save, and then your test steps are saved. So it's as easy as that to edit it here. And if it's not enough, you would like to see more details, then you just go to the tracker item details page by clicking on the link in the document view properties panel. You just go to the tracker item details page and you click edit, and here there is a much more detailed editor. Here you can reuse test steps of your entire project set from all of the test cases. If some of these test cases has test steps, then you click on it, and in the bottom panel here you can see the test steps, and you can drag and drop it to this test case. That's the reusing of test cases. And you can edit the verifies field, which connects the requirement with the test case. You can set up priority and the type of the test case, and you can set up the pre-action and post-action. The actions that you need to do before starting the test case, and the action that you need to do after you have run the test case. Yes, that's for test cases and reuse. We have another tracker, test sets tracker, in which you can define the test sets. If we look at the details page of a test set, we can see that it consists of test cases. There are test cases in the test set. We can define which are the possible configurations on which we want to run this test set. We can also define the possible releases on which we want to run this test set. We can define if the test set is sequential or non-sequential, and we can also define test parameters. We have a support for parameterized testing. Yes, we have also here a reuse in which you can choose test cases and drag and drop it to the test set. You can also drag and drop test folders. If I click on the edit button, here is the test cases tracker, and I can drag and drop entire folders or test cases. By drag and drop, I can move them into the list, and then I can change this way the test set. Yes, from a test set, it's very easy to create a new test run. Here on the tested details page, there is the new test run button, and if I click it, the new test run page, the create test run page shows up. And here you can give a name to your test run. You can choose from the possible releases which release you want to choose. If you don't set up the possible releases field, you don't set it, then it's interpreted as you would like all releases to appear in this drop-down list. So you can choose the release, you can choose the configuration, and then your test run is ready. I predefined here a test run in the test runs tracker. Here we can see a test run which was partially run. So I created it from the hardware test set, and I have run one test in it. The details page of this test run show you the test cases, the status of the test cases. In the test runner, only the accepted test cases are run. the test cases which are not accepted are ignored. So here we can see that I have run one test and this test was passed. It took some time and it was run by me as a tester. Yes, and if we take a look to the test configurations tracker, in the test configurations you can define your configurations on which your tests will be run. And you can use these configurations as possible configurations in the test set definitions. Yes, and as I shown you in the coverage browser, if you run here a test, let's run a test just to show this feature. So if I click on the test run and I click on resume, then I can run the test set. And here the next test, the first test was already run, so I'm at the second test. And here you can see the test runner. The test runner is measuring the time of the test running. It shows you the test case on which you are at the moment, which you are running at the moment. It shows you the progress bar, how much of the test cases you already finished, and it shows you the test steps of the current test case, so that you, for each test step you can write an actual result, and then you can pass the step, fail the step, or block the step. You can report a bug in the middle of the test runner. So let's say I fail this step, and then I finish the test case. When I finish the test case, the test runner offers me to report the bug, so I can report the bug. If I choose to report the bug, the entire test case running, the steps of running is recorded, and also the failed step and the expected and actual result. So if I don't do anything else than just set up severity and save it, then the bug is recorded for this test case. If I click save, it jumps to the next test case, and let's end the run here with suspended and passed. So I can suspend the test runner at any time, and here I can see that the next test case failed, and I reported a bug for this test case. If I click on this bug and see the details of the bug, watch the details, we can see the first test step was passed. We have here the actual result, and here we can see the test step 2 was failed, and test step 3 was failed. So everything is recorded. You can see the entire history about what happened. And also the configuration and release information is saved. Also the test case which was run to report this bug, it's also recorded in this bug report. Yes. For the maintenance phase of Waterfall, you can use the bugs tracker, which we have now, or bug reported from the testing, and you can also use the change request tracker, in which you can record your change requests after you issued your product. So that was the Waterfall part. For the Agile part, I'll just quickly close these windows. So for the Agile part, we have requirements, software requirements, user stories, and we have software tasks. These are the main trackers. Also the releases are here. So the first, during the development, first the team defines the user stories and the requirements, and these entries are broken down to more detailed items which are going to the tasks tracker. If we take a look to the releases page, here we have a software development release, and here we have two sprints, two releases, sub-releases, the 1.0 beta and 2.0. If we open it, 1.0 beta has two sprints. The first is design and implementation sprint. The second is the QA sprint. And this is what we can see here. It's the release statistics page. It's an agile page. You can see here there is a burn down chart, but since I created this project just today from a template, the burn down is not filled yet, but 1 day or 2 days from now it will be filled because of the nightly statistics runner which will run and fill the data. Here in the release statistics page you can see the releases, you can see the tasks, and also the assignment of the tasks and story points. In the header of the release or the sprint you can see how many sub-sprints are there, how many items, how many are committed, how many story points are committed and done. On the right side you can see tables which contain the project breakdown of these items. You can have in a release you can have items from several projects, so you can organize your work in a multi-project way, and it's very useful if you want to separate some things to separate projects. We have also the team commitment. You can see the roles, and if you have tasks assigned to persons, you can see also the persons here. If you click one role or one participant, then all the issues are filtered so that only the tasks of this participant are shown. Clicking on it again enables this disables this filter, and this is the release statistics page. We have also a planner, which is a very feature-rich function. Here on the planner page, you can see your sprints and releases in a hierarchy on the left side. We have the sprints panel in which you can see them, and you can drag and drop any tasks to another sprint wherever you want in the left panel, and then it jumps to this sprint. You have here the project backlog. This backlog is the issues which are not, which don't belong to any release yet. And if you click on it from the project backlog, you can move elements to the different releases. We have also the software development release backlog. It doesn't have any entry yet, or at the moment. We have here also the sprints. You can also create a new sprint, create a new item into one sprint, and you can, in the sprint context menu, you can see planning of this sprint alone, or moving up, edit or delete the sprint. So you can completely construct your entire sprint structure in this planner. That's the sprints panel. Then we have the team commitment, in which you can see the members of the project, roles and persons. And you can filter the elements for these, and drag and dropping the issues to a role will move the issue into this role, so that he will be responsible for the issue. The assignment field is filled by this drag and drop operation. And there is also filtering here, and we have the relations tab. In this feature, the user stories, the requirements, and the tasks are connected together. The user can set a user story to a requirement and a task to one or more user stories. And then on the left side in this relations tab, you can see the user stories and or the requirements if they are connected. And if you click on one user story, then the center panel is filtered for that user story. So if you are interested in only a user story and what's happening for this user story, with one click you have your result and you can work You can also set up colors for a user story, and if you do it, you will see this billet in a colored. This billet will be colored, and also the drag and drop handles of the issues will be colored, so that it helps the identification of the different user stories in the planner. In the planner, you can set up story points. You can set up story points for tasks, and assignee. Assignee lets you choose from the roles and the members. So we have here many roles and 3 members. I choose a named person as a member, and then I press the enter, and then my my issue is assigned to this person. Yes. In the Center context menu, we have several nice features. You can send an item into another sprint or another release. You can send it to the development backlog. You can send it inside this release to top and bottom. You can duplicate it, and you can edit it in an overlay editor if you want. Yes. And now we have another feature too, which I would like to show you. If we go back to the releases page, and from the software development release, we choose the design and implementation sprint, this sprint. Okay. And if I click on the cardboard icon, or cardboard view appears. Here on the cardboard view, it's a Kanban board. You can move the cards of the issues to other statuses. You can complete or in progress. You can suspend party complete. The drop zones are configured based on the workflow transitions of the tracker on which the issue belongs to. So I can say this is completed. We have swim lanes, so I can say that I would like to see separated, the task separated for assigned to. So here, if I click on it, there will be as many swim lanes, as many different assigned to we have. So we can see that these cards in the first swim lane, they belong to the developer role, and the next swim lane belongs to the software architect. If I want, I can close the swim lane, and I can see only the swim lane or the participant which I want to review. So we have swim lane for assigned to, we have swim lane for priority, and also target version. We have, it's useful if you open the cardboard of a top-level release which contains sub-releases. Also modify the submitted ad, and we have an escalation feature. Here you can do enable swim lanes for the escalation date, so that the most urgent tasks comes to the first swim lane. That's also very useful. We have a nice filter for time, issue type, and release, and also domains. Domains are contained in the issues, and if it's filled, then the different ones are enumerated here, and you can choose which domain you would like to see. Yes, we have also a configuration page for the cardboard view. You can define the minimum and maximum values to show the overloaded and free resource indicator. We have also, you can also define more columns, as many columns as you want. You can also remove columns, and for each column you can define which status should this column contain, from which tracker type. And you can drag and drop the different statuses to other columns, so that they then you customize this way you customize the cardboard view. So we have also a configuration, and I think that was the things were the things that I wanted to show you about Agile support. And let's take a look to the source code management in software development. So I defined here a repository. We support Git, Mercurial, Subversion, and CVS. I created here a Git repository. So we have a main Git repository, and it has a fork. As you can see, it has a fork. And if I send a commit to the fork, it's visible in this managed repository on the changes page, and also the diff of the commit is visible here. Let's take a look to the permissions page. You can set up the permission of your repository in a very refined way. For each role, you can define the permissions. Permissions like admin, browse, checkout, clone, commit, fork, create remote branch is a separate permission. So you can say that everybody can push, but some people can do remote branches or create new branches in your repository. Also update on change sets, and we have a branch permission feature, so that for each branch of the repository, for each branch of the repository, here I didn't create branches, but here each branch is one line normally, and for each branch of the repository you can say who can do what, which role can commit, and the same permissions as just before. The same permissions are visible branch by branch. Yes, and we have also the fork feature, so that you can create a fork from a repository. And once you send a commit into your repository, you can send a pull request. Here there is a send pull request button. You can choose the branch, from which branch to which branch the pull request is sent. And in the next page, you can set up the summary, define the summary of the pull request, priority description, and here you can see the change sets which you send to the upstream repository, and here you can see also the diff. It's accumulated diff, and on the right side you can see the list of the administrators who has the right to pull your merge your pull request, and you can choose who will be notified about this pull request. So if I click send the pull request is created, and then if I check the upstream repository, in the pull request tab I have a pull request visible. The pull request's name is, or summary is shown. Also on the left side I can see that it's a pending pull request, it's not merged yet, and the status is mergeable. If the system finds a merge conflict, then it's red, and it indicates you that you have to do something about manual merging on the source side or on the source repository, or do something to resolve the conflict. Here you can see the votes. We have a voting feature. If we click on this pull request, we can see, this is the pull request details page. We can see here several things. If there is a comment when he was sending the pull request, he could set up comments, or during the discussion about this pull request you can add comments. Here you can see the change sets, and the files change the same diff as sent in the pull request, and you can have here a voting. And I have set up that you need one vote to merge this pull request. The merge button is not visible, the merge link is not visible because the votes are too little. It's 0 votes, and it needs 1 vote in order to be able to merge. And you can put comments into the diff. It's a reviewing feature. So you can say, this is a nice change, and you click save. Then with the name of the commenter, it is shown in the code, and so this way you can review the code. If I log out and log in with the other project line, so this other project admin, I will be able to vote on this pull request. So I arrive back to the same page, and here now I can vote. So let's say this G Codebeamer user say that this pull request is a nice one and we would like to merge it. Then he clicks on it. There is a comment overlay on which he can set his opinion, and it goes to the comments. So he says it's a voting comment, and Gcodebeamer said this PR is a good one. So let's log in again as me. So the browser seems like, or my operation system seems like, okay, it was only slow. Okay, so let's log in as me. And now since the voting happened and already we have one vote for this pull request, I can merge the pull request. So just for one more second, I go back to the fork. And let's see this change set in the fork. In the fork now we have a test commit 2 change set with some change, and it's not integrated yet. Here there is a green tablet integrated for the previous commit. But if I do merge, so if I do merge, then the pull request is merged, and if we reload the page of the fork, we can see that this commit has been integrated. Okay, very shortly, these are the things that I wanted to show you about Agile Waterfall Hybrid project. And now I would like to do one last polling. The last question is this one. Please answer it. Okay, so it has happened. Thank you very much for listening for this webinar. I hope that this was useful for you, and we will meet again when you will evaluate codeBeamer. See you.